Welcome back to the Forensics Detailing channel, guys. This is going to be a guerrilla editing video. This video is not here to be pretty, it's here to ask for your help. My bloody flies are undone. That's not going to be a good thing to be shooting live video footage with certain things hanging out. Guys, I need help. I've seen most types of contamination that you can get on car paintwork, and I can identify normally what it is. It's quite obvious, isn't it? Limited number of things. However, on my car, in the last week, from polishing it and taking out all the swirls and inspecting it under the right light, I've seen a defect pattern, or let me just bear with me, that I've not seen before, and I need your help to try and help me identify it. What does it look like, guys? It looks like tiny, microscopic pinpricks or divots, not quite pinpricks, in the paintwork. Tiny round divots most of the time, okay? You can barely see them unless you've got the right light. In fact, low light picks them up better, a bit like sandy marks. If you get really bright light, they're actually harder to sort of see, and I'm going to show you them properly. So I spotted them 1 week ago roughly when I was polishing the car. When I took back all the swirls, found all these divots. I have since sanded the car to remove more clear coat. Sanding them gets rid of some of the finer divots that aren't quite as deep, but it hasn't got most of them out because they're deep. So that's the first thing. The divots appear to be in the clear coat, so they're right on the top, which is important. Where are they, guys? They are predominantly on the front bumper of the front bonnet, sorry, of the car, the front bonnet of the car, and the front bumper. They vary in concentration. There's some of them up here, all the way along this front bonnet, and then they get more and more higher concentration, and the highest concentration of them seems to be on the front lip here, if you like, of the bonnet, closest to the front bumper. And this section here, which I'm not sure if you can see, this front section of the bumper there, where the BMW badge is, that flat bit, oh god, everything's back to front. There, okay, there. Oh Jesus, where is it? There. No. Oh god, come on, John. There, you see it? There. So that's two different panels. They are also on the vertical facing bit of the bumper, but there's actually less of them. This is the highest concentration of them over here. There are some on the wings. And again, a lot less on the wings, just a few, and the concentration is a few here, but virtually none. And there are virtually none on the roof, and I've not seen any on the doors as well. So it's mainly there. The paintwork on this car, the bonnet is OEM paintwork, guys. I've measured all the paint depths. It's all around sort of 120 microns, 130 to 120. So it's actually a little bit more in some places, and it's easy to spot if a bonnet's been sprayed. This bonnet has not been sprayed, and it was not sprayed in my ownership and prior to it being me owning it. I've had that confirmed when I bought it. That's OEM paintwork. Down here, right down here, underneath this bit, I went over like a bump, a sleeping policeman, and scratched the underneath of it. And I had a smart repair done about 8 months ago, and they came over the top and blended in here and here. That smart repair just on that bumper. Okay, I'm going to go through now, and I'm going to cut the camera and show you what this looks like. Okay guys, so at the top of the bonnet, I just want to show you some of these scratches, some of these dinks, sorry. It's the dinks I'm trying to show you. So low light is best. When it starts getting bumpy, then we know we've got good focus. There we go. You're on it. Very hard to show you. Can you see these little dots? You can see the rough concentration of them, okay? And you're probably thinking, what is he worrying about? It's nothing. And it isn't too bad, this. I'm just interested, and you can see one there and there, and you can see the rough concentration of them, okay? Now if I work my way down the bonnet, and this is going to be bloody awkward to film, oh Jesus, as I work my way down, there we go, the concentration of these increases, and there's more of them. There we go. You can see everything here. You can just see, she's not picking it up too well, but they're everywhere as we come down this way. And some of them are deep as well. Look at that. Right, now what I want to really do is get right in tight. Let's get this in focus. That's not a good one. Let's get right in. Oh, you sod, it's such a pig to try and film this. There we go. I want to show it to you. See now, that's what they're like. They are like tiny little pinpricks, divots. You see, in some of them where I've sanded it, they're just impressions and they would come out, but that one there is a lot deeper. Okay, there's a good way of showing it. Look at that. You see absolutely everything on this paint. Absolutely everything. Probably needs another go at refining, doesn't it? Just to really flatten it out. So that's what they look like, guys, and the concentration of them gets more and more. And if I get down here, I don't have the light, but there's tons of them on here as well. I don't have the light. Look at the angle. I can't get the light angle, and this thing is not the best way to show them. You can see them with this. You can see them, but it doesn't show it as well. Let's try and get focus. Here we go. Oh God. You can see them, guys, here. See, the concentration's increased. That's a reflection there. It looks like a nice swirl, but it isn't. It's a reflection. So, most of this, I mean, it's not, I'm not really worried about these dots. Let me just turn the camera off and turn it back on so I've captured all this. And guys, I'm going to ask you to tell me what you think it is. And if I come back and reply to you and say it's not that, I really appreciate you taking the time to give me your thoughts. And I might be wrong when I say you it's not that. I'm just dumping why you could be wrong, etc. So I really appreciate your thoughts. A, solvent pop. It looks a little bit like solvent pop, but it's not solvent pop. You don't get solvent pop, or very, 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 very unlikely to have solvent pop in OEM paintwork. And it also doesn't quite look like solvent pop. Solvent pop typically, it's these little craters that are created from the bubbles popping out, and polish usually gets crammed in those craters and stuff like that. These divots are like micro divots that you can only just about see. It's not solvent pop in my opinion. Next, sap or aphid crap from parking under a tree or something like that. There'd be some etching on the roof, guys, as well, and there's virtually no etching on the roof. The pattern of it is the key, that it's more towards the front, that indicates it's like you're going into whatever has caused this. You've been driving into it rather than stuff just sprinkling down on the car, in my opinion, from the way it's concentrated more towards the front. But it could be, maybe can't rule it out. The next one, chemical etching from solvents or thinner overspray from the Smart Repair. You know, the guys that did the work do great work, and originally I thought this might be the root cause, but I would have seen it. They did the paintwork about 8 months ago. I would have seen it, and I've not heard of that before, but I thought they might have sprayed some solvent thinner when they're blending it in, and it just blew over the car and put in little dots. I don't think it's that, to be honest. They're too small and they've melted too far into the clear coat, and even thinner wouldn't do that, really. It isn't that, and I'm pretty sure it isn't that. If it was, I could have a word with the garage, and they would put their hands up if it was them and say, we'll sort it out for you, John, but I don't think it's them. And I would have seen it. I would have just seen it. And plus, it's just like, it could fit the pattern on the type, because the repair was down there. But you'd also expect more overspray damage to be on this side, where it's the concentration of it is all along that front bumper, rather than just the side where they sprayed. So it's not thinner etching or something like that, I don't think. Next thing, could it be etching from bug splatter, the heavy bug splatter that was all over the car? I brought it back after the track day, parked it up, and I couldn't wash it there and then. It was quite late. I had something else to do. I came in, went on to something else, and life sometimes doesn't mean you can't always clean your car. I know people are going to say, well, you should have got those off. I know, but yeah, you can't always, can you? So, you know, a bit guilty conscious from me there. But there was all sorts of bug splatter etching in the car, but I've taken that out now. I've never heard of bug splatter etching, putting in little dots, pinhole dots. You know, it can put in quite nasty. It can eat into the clear coat quite nasty, but not in these like tiny dots like that. Maybe. So let me know on that one. The next one, and this is, well, no, the next one could be road rash from flying around the track or just driving the car very fast. It's tiny things whacking into the car. you know, dust and dirt in the air and stuff like that. No, it's not that. And the reason it's not that is there'd be more aggressive road rash on the front of the car, and it would sort of tail off, and there'd be some chips and stuff like that. This is too fine for road rash, in my opinion, and generally, you know, it's too fine. And there's, you know, it's a lot of it up here, and you don't tend to get road rash back here. And here's the next one. Someone just said this recently, and I hadn't even considered this. Molten rubber, molten hot rubber from race tyre compounds that basically comes off the tyre, falls on the bonnet in your car, and is molten hot and eats into the clear coat, and then cools down and shrinks, so you don't even see like rubber spots stuck on the clear coat. It's molten hot, like glowing almost, I'd imagine. It just sits there and burns it and just puts a divot in the clear coat. And some guy, I've forgotten your name, sorry, was it Stuart? I can't remember. I've got it up on Facebook upstairs. Said that he's had the same thing on his bike, and it's and the helmet on his bike and stuff like that, and it's from track days. That's when he saw it, and the track day was kind of like the #1 culprit. So the pattern also seems to fit, that more of it is here. And if it was being thrown up by cars in front of me and stuff like that, with, you know, really going hard on their tyres, then that would kind of make sense. Although, you know, there wasn't that many people. I can't remember going behind anyone that was going really hell for leather, but I don't know. So yeah, really bizarre, this one. But out of all of the things, molten rubber, hot compound falling onto the bonnet is the only one really, or the bonnet in the front, that kind of makes sense and it fits the most. Have you ever heard of that, guys? If I've googled this, and there's a few people that have said after track days they've had like rash on their car, but I don't know if that's like, if they've road rash, if anyone's actually seen this problem, because as well, these divots were so small I couldn't even see them until I'd polished my car and taken all the swirls out, and I got reasonable paint there, and then I could see what was left was this kind of divots, and I thought, what the hell is that? And even sanding them hasn't got rid of them. It's got rid of some, and I could get rid of more by sanding away, but some of them are too deep. You know, they'll be very deep, so you can't sand them all out. You won't have any clear coat left. So I'm not too worried about that, guys. Why am I not worried about this? One, I love driving the cars. Two, I was saying on Facebook to another chap, Marios, if you're watching, thank you for suggestions, that I was down at Goodwood a couple of days ago, or was it not yesterday? Yeah, it was yesterday. It was yesterday. And there was Aston Martins racing around Goodwood, McLarens, Bentleys, Jaguars, all these high-end motors that were hammering it. And I'm thinking their paintwork's probably getting damaged the same way. But these cars are built, you know, built for performance and stuff like that. You can protect your car, you can cocoon it, you can put it in the garage, you can not drive it hard and stuff like that. But the reality is, after 2 or 3 years of driving a car anyway, you can have all sorts of defects and chips on the front of your bonnet and your bumper that are going to need to be fixed. I mean, Reg has had his car painted 3 or 4 times on the front alone since getting it, because he wants to kind of keep it perfect. I don't think you could do that. I think after you've owned the car 3 years, maybe 4 years, just drive it, enjoy it, and then after that, get it sprayed. I think is perhaps the good way of doing it. You can't keep a car immaculate when you use it, especially performance cars. So that's what makes me feel better. Also, you can't really see it, guys. You cannot see it unless you had really good sunlight, and you'll see little pinpricks. So it doesn't really bother me that much. I just found it fascinating. I love all this car stuff, and I've never heard of anyone talk about this. What do you think it is, guys? My #1 suspect, from what other people have said, from all of the things I've heard, is that this is molten rubber. Which is unusual, but that's the only thing that seems to fit. So please give me your input in the comments, and it might make an interesting video. It's not the sort of video a channel should really be doing, unfortunately. It should be, you know, 5 things I hate about my car and all the YouTube stuff, but every now and then I think it's really interesting to do videos on real life things and sharing things, and sometimes some interesting things can come out of those videos, and I've got to stop saying interesting. So very interesting, guys. Take care. Beautiful day. Get out your garages. You know, today is not a day to be cleaning cars. Today is a day to be out in your car, enjoying life. Why the hell am I still in my garage? I've been out already today. I've been back. I'm back, and I'm going out now. Honestly, I'm not spending another day polishing. I'm nearly done with polishing anyway. I've got lots of videos that I've talking about polishing this car. Take care, guys. See you soon. Bye for now. Don't forget to subscribe.
Holding on to what I knew, but the moment's gone. Where was I?